Ford S-Max has been remarkably popular since the first one launched around 8 years ago, and that's for a variety of reasons. Practicality, value for money, for example. It's also quite entertaining to drive for a 7-seat MPV in any case. But perhaps unusually, this new version is no bigger either inside or out. Instead, Ford has gone for the same but better approach. Let's see how. Ford has always been proud of the S-Max's sportiness, and several of the new visual changes are designed to enhance that. Not only is it ever so slightly lower than the old car, but this window line here is a little bit higher, which according to the designers makes it that bit more purposeful. One of the biggest changes, however, is these LED lights at the front here. They have a clever system in them, very similar to the one in the new Audi TT, Mercedes S-Class, etc., which blocks out bits of the beam so you don't dazzle oncoming drivers. The safety has been improved in the back part of the cabin in several ways. First of all, there is a new airbag in the side of the seat that will protect passengers' sides in the case of a crash. Also, there are seatbelt pretensioners which will also kick in the case of a crash. But the biggest change, which affects safety and practicality, is this new rear seat system. To get in the back, you now can tilt the whole seat forward and slide it forward like that. So not only is it much easier to get in, it's also much easier to get out. It's a flatter entry point. Ford is working on the basis that space wasn't one of the issues with the original S-Max, so it's pretty much identical in here as it was in the previous version. And that does mean that you can get 7 people in here, but there isn't a huge amount of room back here. These middle row of seats do slide back and forward to give you a bit more legroom though. Instead, the big changes to comfort and space are up here. First of all, there is no manual handbrake on this car, it's electronic only, so there is space for 2 massive cup holders in this central console here. You also get a load of high-level kit that you normally get on much more luxurious cars, things like heated and cooled front seats, massaging seats, a heated steering wheel and a powered steering column. One more thing is that Ford says it has made this car a lot quieter than the previous version, so it should be a much more stress-free driving experience. Not all of those toys are for the driver though, and this foot-operated tailgate would be particularly useful if you've got your hands full of stuff. Another thing that will be useful if you're struggling with loads of kit is one little option that you can get tucked in here. You can get 5 buttons that will drop all of the 5 seats individually. So you can drop down all 5, 2 of them, just the ones down the middle, any combination you like. Traditionally, most S-Maxes have been sold with a diesel engine, and Ford reckons that will be much the same with this car as well. It's going to be a trio of 2-litre diesel engines with power outputs ranging from about 118 brake horsepower up to about 178 brake horsepower. All the official tests for CO2, fuel economy, etc. aren't quite done yet, but we reckon that the entry level will be about 120 grams per kilometre. There's also going to be a couple of petrol engines, one of which being a 1.5-litre EcoBoost, and on the higher powered diesels, an all-wheel drive version. There will also be a Vignale version which will sit right at the top of the range and is going to add more in the way of interior quality and equipment, etc., and much more in the way of dealer experience. Take a look at our Ford Mondeo video for more information on that. We'll be driving it around April-May time next year, so keep an eye on whatcar.com for our verdict then. However, there will be many more details in the meantime on the website, so keep checking back.